to attribute American foreign policy in the last 40 years to Paul Wolfowitz and Dick Perle is knowingly or otherwise to encourage a conspiracy that has very obvious legs. And I just urge you not to do it.
Okay. All righty then. I have much to say about this, but we also have another clip to play. Would you like my commentary first or that clip?
Why don't we go ahead and play the clip just because I want it to be fresh with what he just said, and I don't want to lose that with our analysis. But I do want to hear your response, but let's play the clip because of the juxtaposition, I think. So as you're pulling that up, I'll just tell people. So this ran, I found this clip of Douglas Murray. This was in 2023, and this was like the anniversary of the Iraq invasion, and he had written a column, because as Adam alluded to, he was a big supporter of the Iraq invasion. He had a book in 2006 saying to the people in the UK that we need to embrace neoconservatism. This is the way to save our party and whatnot, or our movement. And so in 2023, he wrote a piece, reminiscing on, my thoughts and whatever. And so now here he is on Spectator TV. He's being interviewed. This is you can see the thing. Douglas Murray, was I right about the Iraq War? And so here we're just going to queue up, and we're going to play a short little clip where he relays an anecdote that at that point I think had been in recent past of when he went to Iraq. Because again, he's a journalist. He goes to places. He wouldn't write about a country unless he's been there. So let's hear what happened when he did go to Iraq. I'm curious to see.
Aren't we all? Here we go.
In those days, I mentioned in my piece that on one occasion, Ankur and I were visiting a Kurdish rights center in northern Iraq, and I was at least quite amused by the fact that the framed photos going all the way through the hallway and up the stairs were of people like Paul Wolfowitz, Donald Rumsfeld, Richard Perle, then of the Defense Policy Board, people who back home in America, in Britain, were all viewed with incredible disdain and disgust by that point, but who in this section of Iraq were regarded as heroes because they had argued the case of the Kurdish people, among other things, and their liberation from the tyranny of the Saddam Hussein regime. And as I mentioned, it's just one of those sort of reminders that, history is so much more complex when you're going through it than when you look back with all of the benefits of hindsight.
So I'm sure you, Adam, you probably looked at that before we played it here live. I'm sure you were intrigued and puzzled because when I heard him start that anecdote and say that he went to this, place in the Kurdish region and he saw all these photographs, I was expecting him to say, and then I said to the people,
what are you doing?
Yeah, the very idea that there's this cabal of neoconservative thinkers who can influence U.S. military policy. Don't you know? Have you ever been to Washington? The president is a Texas oilman. He's a Christian. I find this entire line of argument to be rubbish. But
I'm sure he gave him a dressing down, but he's not going to say that on TV.
Yeah, it's not quite what he said there, if you noticed. He didn't, in any way say it's kind of weird that they think Paul Wolfowitz and Richard Perle had anything to do with the Kurds, but, hey, more power to them. I didn't want to burst their bubble.